Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Pemi Valley Podcast. It is, I have to check the date all the time. I keep forgetting what the date is. I think summertime does that to me. It's July 9th, 2025, and welcome. We have Nate Alberts of North Country Community Radio joining us this evening. Nate's been running NCCR for, I think it's 12 years old, could be 13 years old, and it's a community radio station that's based in Littleton, New Hampshire. They broadcast online as well as on 99.9 FM, pretty much in the greater Littleton area, Whitefield. You can pick up that station. I used to be a DJ there for many years, which was a blast. I loved having my show there, but unfortunately, some personal things had to pull me away from it. So Nate's going to catch us up with what's happening with North Country Community Radio, past, present, and future. And before we bring Nate on, hope everybody had a great long weekend, Independence Day weekend. You couldn't really complain about the weather. It was great. It was hot, humid, and it is funny listening to some people complain about the hot and humidity. It's like, you know what we had about 2 months ago, right? We still had snow in the forecast. Personally, I love snow. I can go from winter right in the summer for 2 months and right back into winter, but that's just me. So embrace the heat and humidity right now because everything's going to change. As my friend Aaron Gray, little shout out to him from Waterville Valley, as he posted 2 days ago, 99 days until snowmaking. So that means it's now 97. And so also, there is a great new business in Lincoln, New Hampshire that I knew. We talked about it last week as I completely just tongue-tied myself there. Fresh Tracks, which is at the Depot at 264 Main Street in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Fresh Tracks is a sandwich shop run by my friend Kate and her boyfriend, Travis. Travis Landry is a local musician. You've probably seen him out playing before, but they serve breakfast and lunch, and this is a great sandwich shop. Wonderful addition to Lincoln, New Hampshire. So if you're ever in the area, please make sure to go check them out. And right now, it's time to, no. We didn't want to bring that commercial in right now. We're going to invite Nate Alberts to join us in the podcast. Nate, welcome.
Hey, thanks, John. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Oh, you're very welcome. Glad you could take some time to out of your busy schedule to join us. And when I was talking about North Country Community Radio, it's about 13 years old now, isn't it?
Yeah, we started broadcasting in 2012, and we became a nonprofit, I think, in 2011. So.
Actually, Nate, your mic's a little bit covered. Perfect. Okay, I think I got you now.
Yeah. We started broadcasting in 2012, and I believe we became an official nonprofit in 2011. So yeah, we've been going for a while, and we keep on keeping on, and things are going really well right now. And
I did like when I first met you back here. So that was right. That was the first year that it was open. You were in this one small studio in Littleton. So you've been in two different studios since, as you just grew and grew. And I love hearing the story. And just to make sure everybody else hears it, what was the genesis of North Country Community Radio, where you said this is what this region needs?
Well, when I moved straight out to Crested Butte, Colorado after high school, and they had a small community radio station there called KBUT. And I got to experience community radio that I've never knew about anything about community radio until a lot of my friends were DJs, and got to go in and sit on some of their shows. And I thought, oh, this is a really cool concept. I can just kind of walk in and I have access to all this music, and I'm able to play some of my band songs on the radio. And it was just such a cool experience. I thought when I moved back to New Hampshire, I want to try and start a radio station, because I think the same 5 songs were playing on the commercial radio stations when I left, and then when I came back. So I was ready to mix it up a little bit and have some different voices out there, and have some more interesting music.
I totally feel you with that. There was many times when I drive down to Massachusetts visiting family, friends, this go to the same familiar stations, and it is amazing. It's like, wow, this song is still playing. Not that it's a bad song.
Right.
Heard it 8 million times. And so when you came back, started up, and the funny thing about a community station is it can be music, it can be interviews, it can be whatever, and that's what makes the all the different flavors in a community radio station. So when you propose this to some business partners, some friends and colleagues, the initial response, like how did that gain momentum?
Was very slow process. We started off with putting together a nonprofit because we learned that we had to have a nonprofit to apply for the low power FM license.
Hmm.
So uh, we were waiting for that opportunity to open up through the FCC, and that would be a couple years after we formed the nonprofits. But we knew that we could immediately start the nonprofit and get all that lined up, and then we could start producing programs, even though at first it wasn't on the FM dial like our goal was, but we could still start producing programs. We decided to share it on the internet,
Hmm.
as well as a small AM signal that barely got outside the parking lot of the radio station, 1700 AM.
That's right, that's what it was. I was trying to think of the number. Yep.
Yes, yes, and and so you were part of that, and in the early days, and so we a couple years went by, and the opportunity opened up for us to be able to get a FM low power FM license, which the transmitter is located on the in the Colonial Theater. So our friends at the Colonial Theater have always been 100% supportive of NCCR, and give us a home for our transmitter and equipment, and our signal broadcasts 100 watts off at the top of the Colonial Theater in Bethlehem.
And that's pretty cool, and it does cover a pretty good area. Anytime going hiking, definitely tune into North Country Community Radio. And a few times, I remember texting you, going, "I am picking this up like loud and clear at Bretton Woods and beyond." I remember the Mountain View Grand. I could pick it up there as well. So that's a great it is a nice coverage area, and especially they get the broadcast online as well. And so all the different shows, because it's funny. I wish we had a list of every single DJ and show that has been, part of NCCR for the last, over a decade. And what's been some of your favorites that have really stuck out? Because
Man,
there were some shows that were there for, a brief amount of time, but they had to move on, or a long time, and then for whatever circumstance they had to stop for a while. So I'd love to hear what's all in your head, because obviously you know best.
yeah, we've had so many awesome programs. Some of the earliest programs were our very first broadcast was Magzilla. That was Maggie White, and she had a show called the L Town Lounge, and she was the very first show to go on the FM dial when we went on 99.9, and we have had so many. Johnny Crystal in the Voodoo Hour.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about him.
An
Oh
amazing
yeah, I forgot about
show.
that.
You never knew what he was going to say or do.
No.
His guest you'd have
You
been
didn't.
was pretty wild, and but we've had so many a variety of great shows. I mean, interviews, and Darcy Shed was always bringing in lots of bands. She was really, good at, getting bands to come in. And oh my gosh, we've had so many amazing shows. Right now, I was just down in the studio, and Phyllis, the Philomeno with the Labyrinth was just starting her show.
Mhm.
Um, she was getting ready to wrap it up tonight, and that's a great show. We have so many awesome shows. Right now, we have 28 DJs, which is, I think, the most DJs we've ever had throughout the week. So
Oh yeah,
every week we have
I'd say so.
28 different DJs. 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 28 different D Some of our shows have multiple DJs on them. The Moccasin Tracks has
Mhm.
3 different DJs. Deb Rieger, who actually made me this NCCR shirt. So shout out to Deb and
Excellent job, Debbie.
Rick and Carolyn Hunt, also on that show. And we have a bunch of new shows. We have a new show with Fred Apple called The Going Home Show. We have a new show with Amanda McKean, that's focused on interviews. We have the Littleton Chamber is doing a show called Econo Beats, that interviews local businesses. So we just really have a great pool of talent right now. All the Bob Luxton's The Rock and Roll Revolution, and Jerry Archibald, Tail Wagging Tunes, Penny Keeler, Outside the Box has been with us for a long time too. We have so many great DJs currently. I can't name them all at the moment, but there's a lot of them, and the full schedule is on the website at the moment.
That is really cool. And so as you've built it, has the community radio has the station pretty much fulfilled what you thought was going to happen, or do you think this is exactly pretty much what you wanted? Which room to grow to?
Yeah, I think it's grown at a slow and steady pace, and right now it's an exciting time. We actually are looking. We're not looking. Or we are building a recording studio.
Right.
So that is like the big current thing that we're doing. We're working with somebody that is Sonic Space, the name of the company that is designing the recording studio, and Brian Warwick from the college, the Vermont University in Linden, has been helping us pull that together and design. And so this is a really exciting time for us, because that is it's well on its way, and the final plans are coming through any day now. We'll be looking at the blueprints of the plans, and we'll start construction really soon. This is thanks to a grant from the Northern Borders Regional Commission, and some generous donations, and the New Hampshire Council for the Arts also helped us with this. So we've had a lot of support, and the recording studio is going to help bring in people to the area, we feel like, because it's going to be such a high quality professional style recording studio, but at an affordable, sliding scale price. So it's going to be accessible, and we're really excited about that, and what can sort of creative things can come out of that.
Lots. Actually, it's funny that you're when you mentioned the recording studio, I remember the amount of equipment that would be donated to the radio station, which was a very cool phenomenon that they're starting all those years ago. Whether it was, I know nobody uses CDs, but it was weird how CD replicators or duplicators were being dropped off, soundboards, wires, cabs, heads for amplifiers, and you had that dream a couple of years ago about like this could be a recording studio, and there was that big board that somebody had donated, and that room and the space where the station is right now, that's perfect. I mean, so it's pretty exciting, as you just said, that it is going to become a recording studio. And what is just a I know it's far off a little bit, but what is the timeline that could be operating?
Well, I mean, our goal really is to have it sort of up and going by September. That was our original goal. So we're going to shoot for that. It might take a little bit longer, but we'll see. But we're moving really quick on it. So that was so the recording studio was the half of the project, and the second half of the project is we are going to be getting a mobile stage. So we're going to also be able to rent it out and also create events and share it. So we're excited about that too.
That sounds pretty exciting. It's good to see, like, the dreams of some of the things that you would lay down really coming together. Nate, that sounds pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Pretty
it
awesome.
definitely is. And how the as you mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce now has a show, which absolutely makes sense. And the pretty much from a lot of the businesses in the area, many were so excited with North Country Community Radio when it was started, and they've been there all along. Have you seen a steady growth with that as well, with all the any from the businesses and support?
Yeah, the businesses in Littleton and around us have always been really supportive. Anytime we've ever asked for money, we've had really good luck and getting support that way. I think now with the recording studio in the works and the mobile stage in the works, we'll probably be setting up some sponsorship fairly soon, and we'll be looking to get some sponsorships for the recording studio as well as the mobile stage as well. And this is all sort of branching off from broadcasting, but it's also sort of connected to broadcasting in a certain way, where it will both things will help us have another source of income for the station, which is always something that is useful. And the other part of it is the direct connection of recording, having a recording studio. We can offer, band that may or may not have a demo or their first CD, a space to record, make an affordable recording or free even. Um, so that we can actually play their music over the air and share it in the ways that we can, as well as the way that they can too. So, and that way it's connected, and also recording, liners or show promos. We could have a podcast studio in there. There's a lot of different things that we can, the pre-programming stuff we can do. And local community announcements, things like that, we can record easily, keep up to date with, and put them on the air through our automation system. So I think that's going to help out a lot. And then the mobile stage, we love broadcasting live shows. So the more live shows we have, the more we can broadcast. And that's how that kind of fits into that. The connection there between the radio station and the mobile broadcasting stage.
Very cool. Very cool. There's a lot more going on that even what I thought. That's great, Nate. And as you mentioned, we have talked about music a bit, the recording studio, the mobile stage. Something especially when you take the title community radio station, that really seem to bring a big spotlight onto NCCR was when the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, of course, we all went into a brand new uncharted territory of what we could do, what we can't do, what we're going to try to do. And you did have a difficult decision of deciding to kind of shut down the station. It was operating, but mobile, pretty much remotely only. But that seemed to be something crucial for information that people needed. And so the community, the station did step up. You had certain announcements, and from different authorities, from first responders to police, fire department, hospitals as well, certain announcements that the station really did help broadcast to. And there was I remember asking you at one point, what is the feedback from the community? And again, police, fire department, I think it was Littleton Regional Hospital too, that had sent you some information, and that became kind of critical, where we had to shut down the normal broadcasting to just become kind of an info station for a while. And I know that was 5 years ago now, but it was just something I thought about before you and I started the podcast, and I dropped it to you. And so we'll go down memory lane. And so how you were trying to organize your head to go forward during that fun time. And I mean, quote unquote, fun.
Yeah, that was definitely a intense time. trying to decide what the right thing to do. Again, nobody knew at first what was going on and how to sort of navigate the situation. And at one point, I remember, just it felt pretty intense. It was really
Right.
intense. Luckily, I had a lot of support from the Pacifica Radio Network. They started a weekly low power FM radio station or community radio station managers Zoom meeting. So I was able to Zoom in with managers from low power FM stations from around the country. And we'd have these weekly meetings to discuss what was going on and how the stations were handling the COVID situation and what their policies were, and the ups and downs and the stresses, and how to deal with all that. So that was really critical to have that support through the Pacifica Radio Network. I was really lucky to be a part of that, and that helped me sort of navigate how to move forward, feeling like in times of crisis, whether it's flooding or other natural disasters, low power FM radio has historically been very valuable and life-saving in a sense where you can run a low power FM radio station off a generator and
Right.
a single microphone kind of thing, and whereas high power stations don't have that flexibility that low power stations do. And low power stations are kind of equipped to be more nimble.
Right.
So I knew that was a factor that we could be flexible and helpful if we could provide important information. So we decided that we were going to shut the doors of the radio station down. And I think that was sometime in late March or March, somewhere in the middle of March.
I think it was, like 2 days after St. Patrick's Day. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was I took the station and I set it up in my bedroom, and basically set up a system where we could Zoom in any of the DJs from home. So what we did was we ordered USB microphones and sent them to all the DJs that wanted to participate. If they had a computer, they could plug the USB microphones. They showed up at their house, they plugged them in, and when their show was about to start, I could Zoom them in through the soundboard from home, and then broadcast it out into the air. So everyone that was able to keep their shows did. I remember one of our DJs was broadcasting from a school bus way up in Vermont, and another DJ called in, sent a list of songs and talked over the phone because they didn't have a computer. And some of the DJs Zoomed in, and it was a way to keep things going, a way to keep human voices out there live on the air. And I think it did make a difference. I got a lot of feedback. It gave people comfort, I think, to hear their friends on the radio during a stressful time. And it gave me something to do. That's for sure. I was chained to the soundboard, it was like, this is my mission, this is my job, and I'm gonna sit through, sit on the board and Zoom people in the whole day, every day, whenever a show comes up, and that's what my job is. So,
and going back to, it's funny, you think like as you just said it, this is my mission, this is my job, this is the radio station that I'm running, but you never thought oh, there's a pandemic that could happen. You never thought it could be a small disaster, but then I do remember your dedication was huge. And I remember saying, you're like, I've been in the studio for 10 hours today. And you're right. It was pretty critical that it was valuable information that was being given out, but then it was also just the trying to keep it as normal as possible. So a lot of those DJs, they've been doing this for years. They are known or not quite as known in the greater Littleton, New Hampshire community. So it is when you all of a sudden, when they're gone, it's just weird. But then you could bringing them on, having them Zoom to do their show or however they were broadcasting, it kind of kept that normalcy. And exactly one of the main things about a community radio station, you did it. And so that went on for a while. I do like what you said too. Like, yeah, I'm in my bedroom. And, well, it kept me occupied. And I remember you said how many hours you were doing this every single day, and you just, pedal to the metal and go forward, and you did it.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting, and it was a really good way for us to express ourselves. At an interesting time. Playing certain songs and just sharing how we felt about what was happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It felt important.
Yes.
And I was happy that and proud of all the DJs that were able and wanted to participate, and even the ones that couldn't. It was for good reason. It was a crazy time, but it was, yeah. We kept it going. And we shared a lot of information too. So it felt like, okay, this is the time to interview people, and we had people from the state call in, and people and from the hospital call in, and just kind of give us information, and we were talking to all kinds of different people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was yeah, it was a good it was an experience. I don't know if it was a good one, but I'm glad it's over.
I was just gonna say, like, after going through all that, doing the right thing, giving out the information, all the info that people needed. It must have been a great day when you were like, the station is reopening. You can all do your own shows now. I love you all, but that's enough. So you don't have to do it 7 days a week.
Yeah, we were really happy to be back in the studio. That's where we like to be most of the time.
And it's true. You walk into the studio, and going back to like how when NCCR studio is just an array of records, tapes, CDs, and you have all the musical instruments in there. It's like, it's just kind of wild how it's not a personality, it's multiple personalities. And that was one of my favorite things about going into the studio, especially starting the show, have some music playing. I just get up and be like, oh, what new guitar was dropped off today? And so all the or even like there's some new records that showed up here. I'm like, what year is this record from? 1955. It's just fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So getting that open, people coming in to visit as well, it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'm really excited. We have an awesome board of directors, and we have an awesome group of volunteers and DJs. Like, we have really great people involved in the station, and we've had a lot of support over the years. And we're heading for some exciting times, I feel like. And
Actually, you just touched on something I wanted to bring up too. The show is yours, and CCR is yours. It's you're the one running behind it. You're the one, behind the scenes all the time. But there is a board. There's a board of directors. If you wanted to just talk about who's on the board and how important they are to help you keep moving forward.
Yeah. So the board is in the nonprofit world. The board is governs the station. The board's job is to hire and fire the executive director. That's me. So they evaluate me and they support me. They also help with the long-term vision of the station, and they also are financially responsible for the station. So they really do a lot of work behind the scenes, and care a lot about the mission. of NCCR and the community. And so we have a board of directors of 5 people currently. Um, and we just have two. We just had 2 new members join. Um, Jocelyn, Newt Carell, and also Jennifer Stone Cipher just joined the board. We have Greg Williams as our president of the board, Laura Gavine, who is an original board member since day one,
Hmm.
and Steve Noyes, who has also been on the board for many, many years, since nearly the beginning. And he actually hosts the Black Beans and Rice show for many years. I think 10 years. I think the Black Beans and Rice was on the air. Blues music and soul and jazz.
That was a cool show. I do remember, yeah, tuning in quite a few times. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. So, but now he's out playing music a lot. So that's great too. And he's still helping out behind the scenes. And that's he plays with a band called the Doctors of Sound. And if you haven't seen the Doctors of Sound, you got to check them out. They just played First Friday downtown, and First Friday was going great. Last Friday, the Van Burens, Sweet Jays. I mean, it was a really happening downtown music scene. So it's great to see the music scene in Littleton is really, really alive and well.
And Nate just mentioned the Van Burens. If anybody out there has not seen the Van Burens, if you have a chance, go see them. Yeah, go see them. You want to have an alive experience, go see the Van Burens. It is entertainment. It is entertaining beyond.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm
Max.
going to stop talking right there. I'm not even going to try to explain it because they're just a blast to watch.
Super fun. And Max Haskell, who plays with them, is also a
Right.
on the show called the UF Bros
Mhm.
with Craig LaValle. So they have a really cool fun show. Fun show. Hamp and Deuce, that's another duo that's fun too in the mornings, Wednesday mornings. And we have a great Worldwide Wireless with Charles Pates.
Mhm.
Thursday nights. That's music from around the world. Another world show we have is World Harmony on Saturdays with Carolyn Hunt and Deb Rieger. But yeah, Tyler Thornton, he has a rockin' show called Rise. That's a really good rock and roll show too. So I mean, we just have. I could go on, but we have a lot of great shows.
Oh, absolutely do. And I do love the fact that it's been growing steadily. And again, we just talked about when the pandemic happened 5 years ago. So that was just a bump in the road, and it just keeps coming together. And I do like unlike a lot of, I'm not going to totally go bad on commercial radio stations, but it's pretty much a set format. It can get dull, whether it's talk, whether it's music, it gets dull. And fun thing about community stations, there is so much more to it. There's so much more flavor to it. You could have one show 1 hour or 2 hours long. I mean, and the next show is just completely different. There is no formality, but there's a description on the website. You get to know the DJs, you get to know the the show hosts, and that's what makes it so much fun, going from one program into the next. I mean, that's what I really like about when I do tune into North Country Community Radio, because it's going to be really different and it's cool. You don't have to be a total professional to do this, but some are at a professional level. Others just want to connect, and that's fine. And that's what's so much fun about the station.
Definitely human-powered radio, and we're not trying to be slick. We're not trying to be commercial. To be real, authentic, interesting, unique. Bring what we have to offer and share it with the world. And it makes it a lot more fun to have that freedom. We don't have any restrictions.
Right.
The restrictions that we do have, I shouldn't say we don't have any, but because we are on the FM dial, we do have to follow the FCC rules. We can't swear, things like that. There's certain rules that are fairly reasonable we can play 99.9% of the music out there.
Hmm.
Um, but 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 yeah, it's a great way to express yourself creatively. And if you have a show, it's you're thinking about what am I going to play on the radio, throughout the week. Typically our shows are 2 hours long. Some have longer shows, and some have an hour long shows. Um, but um, but it's something to think about throughout the week. What am I gonna? You hear a song and you're like, that I gotta play that on my radio show.
Right. You're absolutely right with that. And I just love the fact that many live events that North Country Community Radio has broadcast live. It's been great. Um, the let's see.
And so on this format, on a podcast, you have a lot of freedom to do what you want too. I mean, it's not restricted by the FCC. You can swear and say all kinds of crazy stuff.
And really express yourself. So that is kind of the fun thing about the podcast world is like you really can do whatever you want. It's like, okay, do I reel it in or not? Well, it depends. If it's under an umbrella of one of whatever broadcasting entity it is, you have all your ones that are in there. That's fine. So have at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is great, Nate. You have covered so much of my questions without me even asking them. Excuse me. And with the studio, the live platform to be able to move around. Anything else? Let's say 5-6 years down the road that you were thinking about that NCCR might grow into. You had the podcasting, the mobile studio, and everything. Oh, sorry, the mobile stage. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And anything else? Maybe it's once those get solidified that you were thinking about for the station.
Well, I can see in the future.
Yes.
We may be looking to move the broadcast studio into a more visible place. Keep the space where we are as a recording studio, and possibly move the broadcast studio to a more visible place, possibly downtown. So we're looking,
cool.
we're looking into that for a couple of different reasons. One is just visibility to the radio station. We have this beautiful space that we're in, and we've been in for the last 7 years. But we're a little underground, which makes a great recording studio. But we're looking to sort of be out in the public a little bit more, and have access, be accessible to the community, because that really is our mission. Is we want to be accessible to everyone. So how do we do that? We have to be visible. We have to be, in a very accessible location for the community. So for the broadcast part of it, we're looking to possibly move to a more visible space. And so if that happens, we'll make an announcement and let everybody know when that happens. But right now, it's sort of a vision that we have floating around as a neat possibility.
I think that would be pretty wild if you had NCCR in like downtown Littleton. As downtown Littleton's a very vibrant place right now. It's I did drive through there today, and it was like, wow, compared to, not that it was terrible, but like some 20 years ago, like the difference now, and even especially down by the river, how much buildup, constructive buildup, not overly done. It does seem to be a vibrant, nice and happening place. I think that would be cool. But as Nate was just saying about like where the studio is now, where it's kind of dark. Oh, it's dark. There are no windows in the studio now. You shut off the lights, it's like, wow. I'm in a former hospital, like deep in the basement. But I have to say, though, at holiday time, it was always pleasant going into the studio. No lights are on. You're walking in, and before you turn on the light, you'd have that Christmas tree set up. It was like this Christmas tree in the dark, all by itself. And so that was always warm and inviting. It's like, all right, this is nice.
Yeah. I mean, we love this space. I mean, it really is actually, a really quiet space. And we've been really fortunate, Ahead has, really been incredibly helpful to us. And I'll just say that they've been very supportive over the years. And and have really been a partner in NCCR.
Mhm.
And so shout out to AHEAD, Affordable Housing, Education, and Development, who own the building that we're in. They've been incredible to us. So we thank you.
Ahead is a very nice organization. I know. Yeah, I know quite a few people there as well, and it's yeah, that's good. I'm glad they've helped you out, and it's been a great partnership.
Absolutely. And yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the Christmas trees, because we have our holiday party. Last year it was at the Rocks Estate, and then we have it booked for the 19th, Friday the 19th, in December. So if you're listening to this, and write it down on your calendar, because you don't want to miss. Our holiday parties are awesome, and we had the Mother Pluckers, Sweet J, and the Doctors of Sound up there last year, and this year is going to be a really great party too. So
And it's on December 19th.
December 19th, it's Friday. Yep, Friday the 19th, and we got it booked again. So we'll put more information out there as we get closer. I know we're in July, but it's never too early.
No, it's not, because I haven't made one holiday party that you've invited me to because I've had to work or something was up or something was happening. So, okay, now I know. I'm good.
6 months. You got 6 months to get there.
I can actually probably solidify this. Finally, I'm going to make a party.
I would love it. I would love that.
That will be awesome. Okay, no, I'm writing it down right now. Rocks Estate. All
Okay.
right, we got it right there. I got it, Nate. I got it. It's written
heard-
down.
You've heard it here live.
That's right. All right. Hey, Nate, thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
That
This
was
is
awesome.
great.
It's the first podcast I've ever been on, and it was totally awesome talking to you, John. I really appreciate you, and man, thank you for all you've done for NCCR over the years. You know, your voice and your skill on the radio, and everything you've brought to NCCR and still bringing to NCCR has been incredible, and I really appreciate you.
Nate, thank you very much. That means a lot. And also, hey, I appreciate you. Yeah, I remember when I first saw that advertisement when I was skiing at Cannon Mountain about, hey, we're looking for like some DJs, and I took off the number, gave you a call, and I remember when we met, and it was a blast. And all the years, yeah, helping you out, helping out the station, hosting a show, I had so much fun doing that. So, and there were some personal things that I had to pull away. So now that the dust is clearing, so to say, dust is settling, maybe I can do something in the future as we go move ahead slowly but surely.
I would love it if you MC our holiday party.
Oh, definitely. I have it written down now. There's nothing. I have plenty of time now, so there's no excuse for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John, and congratulations on your podcast. And I'm glad you brought it back. And I'm really honored to be a part of it.
All right, Nate. Anytime. I'm so happy that you came on. Took some time to be with us, and you'll definitely be on again because I know we'll have plenty more to talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John.
All right. Thank you, Nate. You just hold on just for a little bit, and I'll talk to you in just a second. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into this edition of the Pemi Valley Podcast, and we will see you not next week, but the week after. Thank you very much, and enjoy some of these great local businesses.
Insects annoying you? Bond Cliff Bug Protection is all natural and made in New Hampshire. Repel those biting insects. Bond Cliff Bug Protection for all those who work and play outdoors.